Oh, where are my glasses? There we go. Much better. Hello! I can see you now. Well, I could see you before, but the blue light was hurting my eyes, so that's why we wear the yellow glasses. Hope you're doing fantastic. We are almost to the end of the week. You have today and tomorrow as an opportunity to find a solution to the problems of the week. And that is actually very exciting. Because imagine if you can solve those problems and go into the weekend with no stress. Wouldn't that be amazing? I think so. I think so. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. This stream or broadcast is dedicated to you, the viewer. Any proceeds go directly to Operation Underground Railroad so that we can eliminate and destroy human trafficking, specifically child sex trafficking. And we're abolitionists. We don't believe in slavery. We do believe that this is a safe space for people to share ideas, and as long as respect is shown, any topic is open for discussion. Even if we don't agree, it doesn't matter. We can disagree and still have respect for each other. And I think that's something that has been missing from our nation for a little while now. We need to bring the civility back into tough topics. Okay? And as we do, or try to do every day, Monday through Friday, we're going to have an inspirational quote. We're going to jump into an update, so a deep thought. We're going to go into our spiritual reading, and then if we have time, we'll review our 4 steps for success. This is applicable in any facet of your life. And we may play Legends of Runeterra if we have enough time to show you how those rules apply. And so with that, let's jump right on in. Today's quote comes from my favorite painter, Bob Ross. Now, Bob is not my favorite painter because of his artwork. Bob is my favorite painter because of his life philosophy. And because he took something that he loved, monetized it, and shared it. He created a win-win situation for everybody who watches his shows. If you don't know, Bob is very soft-spoken. He just wants you to enjoy the moment of painting. Let all of your troubles go and just focus on the joy of painting. And the troubles can come back later. What's super fascinating is that Bob actually was a drill sergeant in the military and was stationed in Alaska for many years. And he got tired of screaming at people, and he swore after he retired from the military that he would never raise his voice again. And thus you have Bob Ross, whose voice is extremely soothing, and he has some great philosophy. My favorite philosophy, and I understand this is about painting, But it could be about life too, couldn't it? Here it is. We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. Now, in his world, where he uses a wet paint method, literally that's true. Any mistake that is on that canvas can be wiped off and repaired. So there are no mistakes. Or you can turn a mistake into something interesting. But couldn't that go for life as well? Couldn't it be that if we make a mistake and learn from it, that becomes a happy little accident where we become better than we were before? I think so. I think that's true. Be better than you were before. That makes the mistake a happy little accident. Doesn't mean you're going to be happy at the time. It means you can look back on it and say, hey, that worked out. Even though it was painful to go through in the moment, that worked out. I love it. Okay, let's jump into an update for you. And I do think that this is very important that we discuss the ideas and principles behind some of the decisions that is made in our country. And the headline I want to talk about is how the new administration revoked the anti-terrorism travel ban. So, in summary, the new administration said the anti-terror travel ban was racist. And so we're going to remove that and allow citizens of those countries, primarily Muslim and African countries, to come on in. Now, what you may not know is that the reason that ban was in place was not because people were Muslim, and it was not because those countries were in Africa. It was actually because the governments of those countries had no system for vetting their citizens' passports. So, in reality, the United States had no idea who was actually coming into our country from that point of origin. And if we don't have a country, a foreign country, willing to guarantee the identity of that citizen, then why let those citizens in? Because you're letting in who knows what. Okay? Now, you know that I'm independent. And so I can see this going both ways. If you believe that the government should protect its people and you're okay with limiting the freedom of other people of the world to come into the United States, then you should be for the ban. Okay? If you believe in freedom and you believe that the citizens of a nation ultimately have the real responsibility for their own safety, then you would agree with what the current administration did in rescinding the restriction knowing that you now have more responsibility on the shoulders of the citizens for keeping themselves safe and taking more responsibility for their potential mortality, and the government has less of it. Isn't it interesting? In this particular case, the current administration is putting more responsibility on the shoulders of the citizens and less responsibility on the shoulder of the government. Now, I know you're going to say, but Don, terrorists could sneak in and we could have another 9/11. Yes, that's correct. Absolutely true. But listen, people who look to do damage are going to circumvent the system anyway. That's why gun control does not work. I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman years ago. He said, you know, citizens have no business owning an automatic rifle. And by the way, I do not own any guns, just so we're on the same page, okay? And I said, well, why not? Well, what in the world would they be using it for? And I said, what does it matter? If it's a law-abiding citizen who registers their gun with the government, the likelihood is extremely high that that citizen will not be using that gun in an inappropriate method, because he knows that the gun is traceable right back to him. The same individual said, well, you don't want people, regular citizens, owning a bazooka. There's some people who own tanks and even jet fighters. You're not okay with that, are you? And I said, why not? The citizens who own those types of hardware are not the people I'm worried about. If we know they have those things, they're probably not turning those weapons on us. It's the people who are owning powerful weapons that are circumventing the registration process that we have to worry about, because we don't know who they are, we don't know what the weapons they have, and they're not going to follow the law anyway. It's those people. It's those people that we have to be worried about, not the law-abiding citizen. Gun control does not work. Now you could say, but Don, sometimes good people go bad. And the answer is absolutely correct. Good people do go bad. People break. Mentally, emotionally, physically. This is a very complicated world we live in. But in the spirit of freedom and allowing the citizens' rights, we must agree to take the risk that we could be injured or killed if someone breaks, if a good citizen breaks. The bad guys are going to be the bad guys no matter what. You could ban every form of weapon in the world, and the bad guys will have them, and the citizens will not. That is the long and short of it. So the fact that this ban, this travel ban, has been abolished just means that you and I now have more responsibility to be diligent and observant of our surroundings any time we travel. And yes, we do have the responsibility of not only protecting ourselves, but in protecting our fellow citizens. There is sacrifice required for freedom. This is part of it. Okay, let me get a drink of water here. Boy, we went deep there, didn't we? We did, but that's what we do. That's what we do here. Okay. We are going to go into our spiritual reading. Let me update our title. We do 10 minutes of reading. This is an actual historical document. I do believe in this document, but I don't require you to believe in it. However, if you are uplifted, you feel inspired, you feel motivated by what I read, or if you just happen to like the way that the sound of my voice is when I read, then I think it's worth our time together. But rest assured, I believe what I'm reading. All right, we're going to go for 10 minutes. All right. Here we go. And notwithstanding they being led, the Lord their God, their Redeemer, going before them, leading them by day and giving light unto them by night, and doing all things for them which were expedient for man to receive. They hardened their hearts and blinded their minds, and reviled against Moses and against the true and living God. And it came to pass that according to his word he did destroy them, and according to his word he did lead them, and according to his word he did do all things for them. And there was not anything done, save it were by his word. And after they had crossed the river Jordan, he did make them mighty unto the driving out of the children of the land, yea, unto the scattering them to destruction. By the way, I would just like to point out, the Israelites that came from Egypt, because of their disbelief, none of them, none of the original ones, were allowed to go into the promised land of Israel. That included Moses. Moses was allowed to see it, but it was Joshua who led the remaining newer generation into the land of promise. Moses was not allowed to go in. Okay. And now, do you suppose that the children of this land, who were in the land of promise, who were driven out by our fathers, do you suppose that they were righteous? Behold, I say unto you, nay. Do you suppose that our fathers would have been more choice than they, if they had been righteous? I say unto you, nay. Behold, the Lord esteems all flesh in one. Translation: everybody is equal in the sight of Heavenly Father. Doesn't matter your color of your skin, doesn't matter your nationality, doesn't matter what language you speak, doesn't matter your intelligence quotient, it doesn't matter. Everybody is equal in the sight of Heavenly Father. And what that means is he requires the same thing of everyone. And when I say requires, requires in order to receive a reward. We literally have to do nothing if we don't want to. We're not forced to, right? But if we want to receive the reward, then we must all do the same thing, regardless of gender, race, language, sexual preference. It doesn't matter. Let me give you an example here. And let's go a little bit controversial. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Awesome. So we were going to go deep here. Okay, let's think about this. We're going to go a little bit controversial. Let's go with sexual preference or gender identity. Either way, it doesn't matter, right? So, if we are all equal in the sight of Heavenly Father, then He has the same rules for everybody, regardless of our natural inclination. So, if I am a heterosexual male, He is asked that I stay in a monogamous relationship, and He is asked that I have children, right? Well, that means that once I choose my lifelong partner, I'm not running around the whole world having sex with everybody else, right? That's not what I'm doing, right? But what happens if I am homosexual or transgender? Well, guess what? He doesn't ask of them any different than He asks of the heterosexual male. Same rules apply. We may not feel like a gender, but we are asked to marry. We're asked to have and raise children. Period. We are literally equal, completely, in the eyes of Heavenly Father. Oh no, I lost my place. Tears. Tears, tears, tears. There we go. I think I found it. There we go. Behold, the Lord hath created the earth that it should be inhabited, and he hath created his children that they should possess it. And he raises up a righteous nation, and destroys the nations of the wicked. And he leads away the righteous into precious lands, and the wicked he destroys, and curses the land unto them for their sakes. In other words, for their choices, right? He rules high in the heavens, for it is his throne, and this earth is his footstool. And he loves those who will have him to be their God. They're not required. It's a choice. Behold, he loved our fathers, and he covenanted with them, yea, even Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he remembered the covenants which he had made. Wherefore he did bring them out of the land of Egypt. And he did straighten them in the wilderness with his rod, for they hardened their hearts, even as ye have. And the Lord straightened them because of their iniquity. He sent... Ooh, this is a long chapter. He sent fiery flying serpents. Translation, poisonous snakes. Among them.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Thank you, Gandalf. And after they were bitten, he prepared a way, that they might be healed. And the labor which they had to perform was to look. That's it. All they had to do look. And because of the simpleness of the way, and the easiness of it, there were many who perished. So he's referring to the staff of the bronze serpents. All they had to do was look at it. That's it. And they would be cured of the poison if they were bit. But because it was so simple and easy, many people wouldn't do it. Because they're like, it's not going to work. I'm just going to look at something and get the poison out of me? No way. Not going to do it. And they died. Here's a question. What does it hurt you to look? What does it hurt you to look? All you have to do is look. Just try. Worst case scenario, nothing happens. And you're in the same place you were before. But if you are miraculously healed just by looking, you have way more to gain than you do to lose. All right. All right. There's our spiritual reading for the day. We're now going to switch over to Legends of Runeterra. So, a quick summary of our principles of success. Number 1, set your goal. Number 2, do not let fear be the final factor in your decisions. Number 3, you're going to have to be willing to make sacrifices to get where you want to be. And number 4, don't give up. Okay? And for us, our goal is to just touch Platinum this season, and then continue playing and see where we go. Might end up in Gold 4, might end up in Mid-Plat, maybe Diamond. I doubt it, but we're going to see. And we're just doing this to illustrate how all of this works. Now we have a very short time together here, so we're going to play maybe 2 games. Okay. We currently have 4 LP in Gold 1. So just so you understand what's going on, as we are more and more successful and get closer to platinum, we're actually hitting diamond games. And when we hit those diamond games, we're losing more than we're winning. So we keep getting knocked down to the bottom of Gold 1, which is fine. It's just the way it is. So 2 games. Oh, and I will walk you through my thought process. So in case you yourself want to climb, you can kind of see what we're thinking. I've been platinum 5 seasons in a row now. Something like that. Our favorite KDA. All right. So, rule number 1, 1, 2, and 3 cost cards on initial draw if we can. Number 2, if we're limited in our card availability, we want to stretch out the game. That means I'm not going to put down my cards unless I have to. Okay? So, he's going to tap me for 1. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to put down my card yet. I'm hoping for a better card draw right now. I don't get it. So, he's going to tap me for 1, which I'm okay with. And I'm going to save the mana. And I'm hoping for a better card draw right now, which I get. So I'm going to lay it down. And I will attack. If he doesn't drop down a new card. So this is good for me. Okay, excellent. So he won't block me here. There we go. Okay, perfect. Alright, we will go Chronicler of Ruin just to start going deep. It now doesn't matter who the Grizzled Ranger hooks at all. Oh, good. And that was absolutely correct on his part. Okay? We are 11 away from deep. We're going to drop in Maokai and a Dreg Dredger. We'll go ahead and pull Flower Child with his sapling. Oh, no. We'll do that with Grizzled Ranger. Okay, here we go. We will keep the Dredger for defense. And we fully expect for Maokai to die next round, by the way. We're just using him to go deep as quickly as possible. We are now only 5 away from deep. Okay. Alright. Next round is round 6. He will need to pull down a card. So I will use Ethereal Remitter. Okay. But no, I won't, because he'll just grab him. So I'm going to use a Dreg Dredger. He will now be deep. That means next round I can get rid of Garen. Maybe. We'll see. Now, he should pull Maokai. He is 5 away from proccing. There's no way I can get that going here. There's no way I can kill him and do this. So I'm going to have to let him go. Okay. Here I will go ahead and do this. All right. We will now drop in Nautilus. All right. Let's see his response. There's several spells on his side that he can use to really mess me up.
You're covered.
Okay, so with that, there's absolutely no reason for me to attack. I don't have a hook. I'm going to pass with the idea of using the Riptide to put Garen back before he strikes again. Okay? Alright, here we go. Okay. Let's go here.
Sacrifice for a greater cause.
Time to get rowdy.
All right. Interesting. Yeah, that's probably better. I don't think so. Okay. Let's see if Garen comes out. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and Riptide him. He will probably use a spell to strike. There it is. Oop. Oh, there it is. Yep. He needed to proc that. That was his win condition. So we're going to go ahead and put him back into his deck, which is fine, but he's now procced. I was hoping he wouldn't, but I knew there was a high probability that he would. Alright, so he's out of there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's keep going. I really need... there we go. Alright, so this is actually going to be a huge problem for him. He's only going to have, at most, one card that can block. Oh, make that no cards that can block these two guys. So, GG. Yeah. Okay, so there's our W. Let's go one more. Look, anybody can make it to Platinum, I promise you. You just have to know how the deck works. You have to understand what it can and can't do. You have to understand that you have to have patience and when not to try to strike the Nexus. Attacking actually is extremely dangerous in this game. You must know that you win the exchange. So you have to know the spell cards that are potentially there. Alright. So this deck, depending on card order, isn't too tough for us. See? And we will take Abyssal Eye. We normally would not, but we will this time. So we can get rid of Teemo. Okay? Alright, let's go ahead and just stretch this out. It's to our benefit to have 3 mana in case we get our card. Okay, so we're going to put down Thorny Toad. Okay, we'll go ahead and put down Dreg. Ooh, all good cards, darned it. Go ahead and attack. There's really... I mean, he might have Mystic Shot, but he's going to use that no matter what the scenario is, so... Oh. Really? Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. That's not bad. That's not bad. Not a bad play. Alright. Skip the block. We're going to put in Maokai. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything there with him. And then next round we'll put in Abyssal Eye, and that should be the end of Teemo. Should be. We'll see. Ew. So this is really good for us. He has had to use a ton of resources to get rid of Maokai. He only has 2 cards left. That's it. And he used a lot of his arsenal on that. So we're going to drop in Abyssal Eye. We can go ahead and attack. Okay, he's got no response for that.
To no one.
Alright, that's a problem. We've got 11. We are 11 away. 11 away from proccing. There is no way I'm going to get that and save him. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drop in the Deadbloom Wanderer. And then we're going to drop in Slaughter Dogs.
Born for conquest.
Oh.
You'll never know what hit him.
Okay. How far away? 8, yeah, there's just no way. Okay. Put this in. Now, my next play here is I'm going to go Ethereal Remitter. You. And I'm going to put it on Thorny Toad. Okay.
Return with interest.
That'll help me go deep. We're now 6. Should be 4. We're 4 away. We're going to go ahead and jettison to hit our 4.
I've heard about you.
And then we'll drop in another Thorny Toad. So now, next round, it'll be quickly game over for him. Alright, here we go.
Stand and fight.
So she probably has Fury of the North. Or that, Troll Chant, either way. Okay, neither champ will die. Teemo has not procced yet. So we are actually in really, really good shape. Okay, here we go. Yep. The only person... Oh, there's 2 people that can block on his side, I guess.
Safety disengaged. Rise, mental
Okay, we will go all in. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna end this now.
Flesh was weak, but look at me now.
Okay. This should be GG right here. Regardless of whether he can block or not, it doesn't matter.
The winter's
Ooh.
law endures.
Okay, here we go. So only Sedge can block. That's it. So unless he has Mystic Shot. Oh, that's not bad. 9, 16. Yeah, okay, he survives. But it's gonna cost him. Alright.
I'm a peddler, not a meddler. This will be a scorching winter.
Okay. He has no cards, by the way. So if his Sedge goes,
Would a mushroom help?
it's game over. Unless he has another one that gets pulled up. Yep, there she goes. Okay. We're in really, really good position.
Perfection.
Good pass. Alright, so Timo will hit. However,
Armed and ready.
should still be game over. Only 2 cards can block next round for him. That's it. Alright, should be GG. Yep, just these 2 cards, that's it. So, he's done.
So ordinary.
Let's not ruffle our feathers. Fly away while you can.
Yeah. G.
Waters cannot be sated.
There it is. Working our way to platinum. All right. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it was inspiring and inspirational for you, and I hope you know that you can do anything you set your mind to. Just follow those 4 steps of success and you'll be fine. And with that, we will see you tomorrow morning. Have a great one, guys.